So what you guys can't see right now is what I'm doing, and kind of failing at it because they're all tangled up here. But I'm untangling my dad's dog tags. Now these dog tags I've had either on my body or hanging from my rearview mirror for almost exactly 13 years. And for those of you who don't know, if you're new to the channel, first of all, welcome. Thanks for joining. But my dad, our dad, passed away from an 18-month battle of Lou Gehrig's disease, also known as ALS, in 2005. He had 18 months from diagnosis to when he passed away. He had a really, really terrible accelerated case of it. And ALS is probably one of the most cruel diseases I think I have ever seen. It's something that keeps the mind, their mental acuity is always there. They're aware of everything, but their body just literally eats themselves alive. They lose their speech, they can't walk, their muscles atrophy, they just literally eat themselves whole. They become a prisoner of their own body. And why I'm kind of talking about this, and it's probably one of the most depressing topics to bring up on a vlogmas. You know, Christmas is supposed to be happy, but you know what? Where I'm going with this is just the fact that I'm here, I'm alive, and I wouldn't have all of these Christmases if it were not for these dog tags right here. So I'm a veteran myself. I served 6 years active duty in the United States Army, enlisted in 2003, got out 2009. My father passed away in 2005, so very early on in my military career. And my father was my best friend, my mentor, my go-to, my guy for everything in life. And I felt lost without him. Now, I have an amazing family. My mom, my stepmom, my brothers, my whole family. I love them all, and they're amazing people, and they were at the time as well. But I was young. I was about 19, going on 20. And without my father figure, without my dad, without my Army mentor, I didn't really know what to do. And I had to jump back into active duty. I had to go back to my job. And I didn't really properly deal with those emotions in that life event. And my biggest takeaway for this message I'm about to share with you all is that seek professional help. If you think you need it, if there's a 1% chance you think you need it, please get help. I pushed it away for a long time. I stuffed it down deep, and a lot of my previous relationships suffered because of it. And here it is, only almost 13 years later, and I can talk about this without just completely breaking down. And so during that dark time in my life where I wasn't this just happy-go-lucky Chase, I wasn't just ever forward, ever forward, ever forward. I wasn't just the optimist all the time. You know, that was still there, but I was lost. I was in a dark, dark place, and life or death didn't really matter that much to me. And I am not, nor was I then, even at my worst, someone who was even considering taking my own life. I would never do that because I was like, well, shit, my whole family just went through the loss of my father. How could I, you know, do that to them? But I was also just trying to soldier on. And at the time, I thought soldiering on meant you got to go to war. Now, in my job, my experience, I was never deployed to a war zone. I've been TDY at a lot of different places. I've done some things. My job in the military intelligence field was very different than what I think a lot of people believe the military is. I was not an infantry guy. I wasn't the guy knocking down doors, but I thought that I wanted to do that. And so I tried. I volunteered for a couple different deployments, and they didn't pan through. But on the second one, it looked like I had some momentum. And so I went to leadership school. I got promoted. I did these things that I was supposed to do to get to a point to where I could be deployed, so I could be the guy overseas in the desert. And about 3-4 days into a field training exercise, and an FTX is what we call them in the military, I was significantly injured. I was leading an attack and ambush against the opposing force, the Op 4, basically the fake enemy. We're playing war games. And in that sudden movement. I was just going from a prone position. I was leading ambush, hiding in the woods, just jumped up super quick and just led this attack. And within, I don't know, a millisecond, it seemed, it happened so fast, I thought I got shot. My hamstring was just like, oh! But I wound up tearing my hamstring, rotated really badly, just like the wrong movement, the wrong way, the wrong speed, really injured my L4, L5 vertebrae, and then tried to just jump back into duty too soon, re-injured myself. Long story short, I've had, am I even in the light here? Apologize if this is dark. I wound up having both of my hips completely reconstructed, and I was medically discharged from the Army. But where I'm going with all this is that I was doing these things with the wrong intention. The reason that I was in the training environment where I was when I got injured, that wound up getting me kicked out of the Army, that wound up forcing me to have to learn how to walk again twice, that wound up putting me on the path that I am today, to go to school, to study the human body, anatomy, physiology, exercise science, health promotion, to become a trainer, to become a coach, to be the person I am today, to have Ever Forward mean what it does to me. It didn't come from this bright, shiny source. It didn't come from this just overwhelming positive place. It came from darkness. And I wanted to be over there. Over there meaning Iraq, Afghanistan, wherever they would send me. Because I did not want to come back alive. I was so lost over the death of my father, and like what I was supposed to be as a soldier, what I was supposed to be as a human being, where I was supposed to be going in life. I wasn't living my own life. I wasn't living my own truth, and I am now today without a shadow of a doubt. But Dad, God, higher power, whatever, was watching over me, and they had to snap my shit up in order to snap me out of it, to put me on my path I am today. I wasn't meant to go over there. I wasn't meant to not come back alive. I thought, oh, if I go over there and something happens, God forbid, you know, whatever, like, at least at the time I had a $400,000 life insurance policy. The Army upped it to 400 grand. I was like, man, my family would be taken care of. Me, the eldest son, the big brother, my family would be taken care of. I mean, my dad's gone. How are they going to provide for themselves? I mean, just these things you come up with, these stories you tell yourself as to why other people are going to fail without you when they're fine. They want to make sure that you're okay and you're alive, but losing my father saved my life. I opened up about this for the first time publicly on a podcast interview. Josiah Novak. I've shared it with 2, maybe 3 people my entire life, and for my friends and family members that are seeing this and hearing this for the first time, first of all, I'm sorry for not sharing this with you sooner. I did not want to come back alive, but these dog tags, this sacrifice that my father made, it was a gift. It's taken me over 10 years, over a decade to get through my shit, to go through my grieving process, and it takes that long for some people. And like I said earlier, if you're anywhere remotely close to where I was, wanting to hurt yourself or not caring about life or death, please get help. I've seen help. I've talked to a psychiatrist, psychologist. I've worked with a therapist. I continue to be coached through these things, these dark parts of my life that hold me back, that give me these limiting beliefs. But you know, I shared with Josiah today that from that darkness came the brightest light, and I have finally realized that this horrible thing that happened in my life, losing my father, has turned into the greatest gift of my life. And it is because of these dog tags, it is because of his service, and it's because of his legacy that I have made the mental decision, the conscious, aware decision, that it's not going to be for nothing. It's not all in vain. That those 2 words, Ever Forward, he didn't just whisper in our ear growing up for shits and giggles. He knew what it meant. He knew what it meant to live a life ever forward. And I'm finally aware of what that truly means. I'm finally aware of the gift of his sacrifice. And I'm so thankful for these dog tags that I stare at every time I'm in the car. And anytime I have a win for the day, or I'm just hurting, I just reach up and I grab hold of them, and I just, I connect, and I remember that horrible time of my life where I was, and just remember why I'm here. So this Christmas season, take note that, especially with social media these days, it's so easy to put up the highlight reel of everything. And I live my life by optimism and living a life ever forward and trying to be positive in every way, shape, and form. But it's only because I know what that polar opposite looks like. I've been down that road. I've crawled inside that bottle. I've walked out onto that ledge. I've entertained the idea of not waking up tomorrow. And, I kind of use the excuse, the disguise of military service and dying with honor on the battlefield, and it wasn't meant to be, So Dad, thank you. Anyone else, if you are anywhere close to where I was, please go get help. Please go get help. Connect with me. I would be more than happy to share with you any personal endeavor that I've gone through that maybe you connect with. I'm not a certified licensed professional, but I've been through what I've just been through, what I just told you. And if this rings true with anyone, please do not hesitate to take your life back into your hands. There is a gift in it, and I talked about this in Josiah's podcast. No matter how shitty you think your life is, no matter how dark this place is in your life, no matter who seemingly did you wrong, no matter how much you have failed, no matter how much you think you can't come back from wherever you are, I promise you, you can. I promise you, you can. All you need to do is just stop, take a breath, take a pause, and just ask yourself, where is the gift in all of this? Just ask yourself that question. You may not see it right now, you may not see it tomorrow. Me, it took a decade, 10 years of just telling myself a lie. There's a gift in everything, so let this be your gift this holiday season. If you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever, this is just a great time of year where people come together and try to be conscious of giving to others. So sometimes it's important to give to yourself. Give yourself this opportunity to take your life back, all right? There's a gift inside of every darkest hour.